168th and Burke. Also in Papillion, the new Papillion location is on the corner of 84th and Highway 370 in Midlands Plaza there. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. Of course, you can also join us on the program on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where we stream the show live. You can watch the show right now. Also, if you, we have a lot to cover today, guys, a lot of really interesting stuff. Sometimes on the weekend, you fall into like a news hole. Nobody's updating their websites. Everybody's off. Nothing new is happening. I have so much new stuff to cover today that if you miss a chunk of the show, if you have to go into church or you're going somewhere, you got to do something, guys, just tune in on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. You can pick up anything you missed there. We also post the site or the shows on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, which was not banned in Europe this week. Yeah, did you hear about this? This new general data protection law that the European Union passed. They're saying it's kind of funny because they're saying it didn't fall out of the sky. No one should be surprised that this law got passed, but everybody seems to be completely taken aback and, deeply unprepared for it. In fact, I'd read something about it like 2 days before it went into effect. It was the first time I'd heard about it. But basically what this law does is it requires companies like Google or Facebook or Schrock Innovations, yes, we're all lumped together as one big happy family, to be able to disclose any information that is held by the company about a user, to delete that information if the user should request that information be deleted. It's pretty crazy. And the stuff that this law considers personal information includes things like your IP address, which changes depending on when you reboot your router and your modem. So most of you after the show today are going to get a new IP address after what I tell you about the Russians. There are Russians living in your router right now. Yeah, right now. And we're going to fix it right now on the show. You're going to reboot your routers today, and you're all going to get new IP addresses from your internet service provider when you do it, because none of us have static IP addresses. However, they only give you new IP addresses when you reboot your router. Therefore, an IP address can be used to temporarily, personally identify a user. Therefore, that's considered personally identifiable information. Therefore, companies can't keep that information unless you specifically tell them they can keep it. So there's a couple things here. First of all, some of you managed to hang with me through that little explanation. Most of you probably didn't. You heard IP address, and then it was like, wah, 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 get a new one. And that's what most users are going to hear. So if you have to give Google permission to know what your IP address is so that it can allow Gmail to work on your computer, well, okay, I guess I'll give it permission. What are you accomplishing? So, okay, great, you gave them permission. You don't understand what the IP address is used for, but you're going to give them permission to use it because you want to use Gmail. And that's all that's happening now, is all these big companies are coming in and saying, well, if you want to use our stuff, you're going to give us permission to do this. And then the European laws, however, allow these companies to be steeply fined if they're non-compliant. It created such a gray area that websites like the New York Times literally blacked out Europe. You could not get to the New York Times website if you were in Europe, because the New York Times website collects information on visitors through their advertising. They're advertising, every website does. You ever wondered how ads follow you around on the internet? Like, you could be Googling a car, like I want to get a new car, I want a new Ford truck. And then every website you go to on your phone, on your computer, seemingly everywhere you go, is showing you ads about new trucks. Wow, it's not a coincidence. No, basically one of those devices, your computer, your phone, something, identified your IP address, identified you're interested in trucks, and therefore started showing you ads, anyone on that IP address, for trucks. Well, your phone was on the Wi-Fi at home. Now it added your device, your phone, as something associated with your IP address. So now even when you leave the house, your phone's showing you ads for trucks. And then you get to work and you get on the work network. Now it's identified that your device is also on a work network. That work network is associated with you. Therefore, you're going to see ads at work for trucks. Isn't it crazy how they follow you? But that's what this law is designed to expose, is like, these guys can follow you doing pretty much anything you do. And that's how Facebook understands everything. That's how they know everybody you're possibly related to under the sun. That's how they expose illicit affairs. Oh, I don't know that woman. Click, click, go away. Click, click, Whoops. That's how that stuff happens, is because they're watching your data trends with your devices. Well, now that's illegal unless you specifically opt into it. Emails, cannot send you an email, cannot send you a text message, cannot send you any notification whatsoever unless you go to a website again and specifically opt in to communications. So, for example, common practice at Schrock is when you check in your computer, we ask you for your email address. And sometimes customers say, what do you need that for? I'm giving you my computer. You can't really email me. And, besides the fact that most people have email on more than one device these days. But no, they're right. We're not going to email you while it's in the store. But for example, Drive Advisor, we need your email address in order to set up Drive Advisor so that it can send you alerts about your hard drive's health. Okay. So we also use your email address. For example, today is the last day of the Ultimate Upgrade Sale. So if you were planning on coming in, this weekend is it. If you were going to pick up a new laptop or a desktop and trade in your old one, you guys, this has been going on about a week longer than we wanted it to already. We have 6 left. The last time I checked the website, we have 6 left. So you can order online at SchrockInnovations.com. You can come into the service center. But this weekend's the last weekend. We might send an email about that. Okay? So that's a second use of your email address. A third use of your email address is we'll use it to set up a secure updater account for your computer. A fourth use for that is we can unify those accounts together based on, do you have Drive Advisor? Do you have Secure Updater? Do we have you in the Schrock database? If we have you in the Schrock database and we know your computer Schrock tag number is 12345, we can reasonably assume that you have Secure Updater, Drive Advisor installed on computer 12345. Therefore, when you call us and say, hey, I'm not sure which of my computers has Secure Updater on it, but I think I need to renew it, our guys can figure out what computer it's on and help you. So it's used for a service. You in Europe now have to opt into each and every use. Is it okay for Drive Advisor to do this? Is it okay for Secure Updater to do that? Is it okay for SchrockInnovations.com to do this? Oh, and when you are opting in at the front counter, you have to sign something that says you're opting in. So they've taken what is, and I understand why. Basically, these large companies like Google and Facebook have taken the position that your information, your data, is their property. And they make money trading on your data, your information. So it makes sense for someone to come along and slap these guys in the head and say, this information is not your information. Now, I mean, this is the same thing as, like, if you go to Info USA and say, I want to buy a list of every computer repair company in America, and they sell you a list, right? They're not their computer repair companies. They just took the time to compile the information, and it's valuable to you because you don't have to compile it. Well, isn't this the same thing? We took the time to compile. Facebook took the time to get all these people to install their products and use their apps and everything else so they could collect all this information about them. And now they're selling access to that information to third parties. And yeah, it's super creepy because these third parties like Analytica can figure out exactly who you want to vote for, when you're going to vote, where your polling place is, how close you are to your polling place, and ding, hey, did you know that you're 1 mile away from your polling place? Don't forget to vote today. And we only remind the candidates who are likely to like our candidate, or the voters who are likely to like our candidate. Now, the people who are going to vote for the other guy, we don't remind them to go vote. In fact, we might send them on a reminder, you don't have time to vote today, whatever we want to do to block them, get them out of the way. So you could see why, from Europe's perspective, they are protecting consumers. They're also massively hindering innovation. So I come down on both sides of this issue because are there abuses going on with personal information? Oh, yeah. It's the Wild West. There are no rules. There need to be some rules. And, of course, those rules have to have teeth. Otherwise, people aren't going to abide by the rules. On the other hand, right now, if I was Google or Facebook, imagine the pressure that you could put on these European politicians if you just shut down the services to their country for a week. No Gmail, no Google Calendar, no Android, no nothing, no Google Play Store. Sorry, we can't provide service to you because they passed a law. that says that we can't unless we do all this stuff. And they gave us like 2 days to do it. So now we have to figure out how we're going to get this done. It's going to take some time. In the meantime, if we continue to do business, we're going to get hit with huge fines. Now, the problem is if any one of them, if Facebook does that, Twitter won't. If Google does that, Microsoft won't. Apple won't. If Apple does that, Google won't. So everybody is still moving forward like nothing changed, right? So these companies are going to get massively fined. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars in fines, all going to the European Union. Mostly a tax of American companies. But if any one of them decides to pull and do the thing like what the New York Times did and what Fortune magazine did and what a large number, we literally had to ask ourselves at Schrock, do we need to block Europe from the Schrock Innovations website? Because we don't really care about Europe. I mean, no offense, Europeans are cool and all, but we don't have any service centers in Europe. We have very few customers in Europe. We've got a call from Switzerland once, but that was a listener from Lincoln that went to Switzerland and then spent the winter there, the summer there or something. So it wasn't like, we have fans in Switzerland or Iceland or, Britain that are listening to the show. Now that could change someday and maybe we'd have to start caring then. But right now we could just totally block it and it would really mean nothing to us. It wouldn't hurt our business at all. So do we need to? Actually, the number 2 referring country to our website is India. We have the United States and then India. Because we have so many tutorials and do-it-yourself articles on our website that lots of people from India will go there to fix their gear and look at the tutorials and everything. 866-496-8772. So if you heard a whole bunch about data protection practices, blah, 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 websites going dark in Europe, blah, 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 that's what it was all about. It was all about a big law that changed everything that is going to get tweaked. It's going to have to get tweaked. But on the other hand, it's also causing these media giants, these conglomerates like Alphabet, or Google, or Facebook, or Twitter, to reevaluate their collection of data and what it's used for. And this experiment in Europe is going to serve as a model because all the bad things that are happening because of it could very easily have been avoided. And so a subsequent law that might get passed, say, for example, by the Consumer Protection Division in the United States, might avoid those pitfalls that Europe fell into while still getting the benefit of giving you a little bit of your privacy and control over your data back. Because right now, if you wanted to walk away from Google, there's no way to do it. The information that they have, and you cannot get away. Even if you stopped using all Google products, they continue to collect information on you. Same with Facebook. Facebook has information on every single computer user on the planet. Even if they don't use Facebook, it doesn't matter. It's crazy. If you ever go to a website that has a button on it that says, click this to like it on Facebook, Facebook's collecting information about you on that site. 866-496-8772. Now, I did mention that this weekend is the final opportunity for you to come in and take advantage of the Ultimate Upgrade sale at Schrock Innovations. If this is the first time you've been hearing about the Ultimate Upgrade, the Ultimate Upgrade is the opportunity for you to trade in any old, tired, worn-out computer you might have toward the purchase of a brand new Schrock modular computer. Now, we have a laptop model and a desktop model. You can choose which one you want. You don't have to trade in a laptop for a laptop or desktop for a desktop. We don't really care what you trade in. We don't use anything from your trade-in toward the new computer. We scrap it all, grind it up, get rid of it, the whole bit. So you're trading this in. We can transfer information for you, so we can move your data over if you need us to. Otherwise, just bring in some old rusty thing from the barn, and throw it in. There you go. We don't care what kind of computer it is, how old it is, how many parts are in it or missing from it. Sometimes we get people who come in, they bring in like a box, like a case, and inside it's completely empty. And I love they're like in the car, like, we pulled one over on those idiots at Schrock. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff. So anyway, so this is the last chance to take advantage of that. $449 is where the price starts on these things, so they're very affordable. The desktop is just as upgradable as any other desktop that we have at Schrock. The laptop, there is the opportunity when you purchase the laptop to upgrade the memory. I would recommend you do that. To go from 4 gigs to 8 gigs, because the 4 gig models, once they're released, they can never be upgraded. The ones that get upgraded when they're purchased, we actually use a different computer body for those, so they can continue to be upgraded into the future. But yeah, that's where life is going. Unfortunately, the $400 and $500 laptops now are going to be basically tablets in a laptop body, and they are going to have no DVD drives. Now, the Ultimate Upgrade laptop has a DVD drive still. The desktop does not. And I have to say that because even though there's no mention of a DVD drive anywhere in any of the materials for the Ultimate Upgrade, people will still call us back angry after they get there saying, "Where's my DVD drive?" And we have to tell them, well, nobody uses DVD drives anymore. You don't get one. There's no floppy drive either. No zip drive. No 5 1/4 inch drive. No tape drive. No punch card reader. You don't get any of that stuff anymore. And of course, people will argue, well, what if I want to burn a disk? That is legitimate. Some people still do burn backups and things like that. So we can add that back in if you want to, because heck, it's modular, right? So we can do whatever we want. We can tweak this or design it or change it to meet your needs. That's why every single one of them is custom built. So basically, you order the computer, you keep your computer. You don't have to bring your computer into the shop. That's why you can order online. And then when it comes time to pick up the computer, you bring in your trade-in. So with all that said, guys, this is the final weekend for this. If you want to take advantage of it, I recommend you can go to the website at schrockinnovations.com, and you can look at them there. You can configure them. You can go through everything you want. You can purchase it right there, too, if you want. Otherwise, you can come on into the service center and order one at the front desk, just like always, and we'll be happy to help you out there. 866-496-8772. We're going to take our first break in the program, but we have a loaded show today, guys. A new report on antivirus software tells us exactly where Windows Defender falls. Microsoft has a problem with the testing results. Avast has had a really bad week this week. If you're an Avast user, I would strongly recommend that you do not do the Windows 18.03 update. Safe Upgrade users, this is exactly why when you ran Safe Upgrade, it said, you're not using good antivirus software. Consider upgrading to Symantec Endpoint before continuing. Otherwise, this will void your warranty. Because people running Avast have big problems that are running up tabs in the service center this last week, and we're going to tell you about that. Also, Drive Advisor saved a server this week. Brand new server. We built a server for a customer with a solid-state hard drive in it. Drive Advisor saved that thing, went out the door. Things aren't supposed to go bad in the first week, right? That never happens to anybody. Yeah, we'll tell you about that. Also, the Russians are in our elections, guys. They're all over it. They're in the administration. I'm pretty sure President Trump is Russian at this point. But did you know that the Russians are also, right now, while I'm talking to you, if you're watching this on Facebook, right now, the Russians are in your wireless router at your house. The FBI says so. And so we're going to tell you what you need to do to kick the Russians out of your router, because it's a lot easier than getting them out of the elections, it turns out. We don't need a special council in 2 years and everything else. We have some specific concrete steps that we can take that are going to boot these guys right out of your router, and it'll be far less contentious, I'm sure, than in Russians in other things. So stick with us, guys. We got a lot to cover. More of the show coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but Which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have 3 locations where you can get help with your computer needs. Of course, the fourth location, the fourth estate, if you will, is the Schrock Desk. We never talk about the Schrock Desk on the air, but the Schrock Desk is a huge component of what we do. I remember when we started Schrock Innovations 19 years ago, that whenever a customer had a problem, we had to describe the screens and then walk them through visually. And that was a challenge for some people. Or if a customer picked up a computer that we had fixed and took it home and then had a problem at home where the printer wouldn't work or something, they either had to bring in the computer and the printer and load everything in, or we had to send somebody on site to go help them. The Schrock Desk is such a blessing because it allows us to connect to your computer over the internet and see the screen that you're seeing. So if there's a problem like my text is too big, we can look and see what you're seeing, and we can fix the problem so much faster. So the Schrock Desk, when you buy a new computer from Schrock, if you're thinking about picking up one of these ultimate upgrades, and for those of you who have ordered ultimate upgrades, your computers are being built, and when you come and pick them up, you'll have the opportunity to sign up for the Schrock Desk. You get 90 days free. So 3 months free. This is to help you when you get home, just get everything situated. If your program needs to be reinstalled, if a printer needs to be hooked up, now you've got coverage for that. Because a lot of people say, well, will you do all this for me? And the answer is, we can, but we have to charge you for it. But if we give you 3 months of the Schrock Desk, then it's not just for broken computers, it's for help with everything. So maybe you've never used LibreOffice before and you want to find out how to do something. And we'll remote in and show you how to do it. It's pretty slick, actually. So normally the Schrock Desk is $30 a month. You can buy it month to month. You can cancel it anytime you want. There's no contracts or any complex jazz like that. When you get a new computer, I did mention you get 90 days free. We'll set you up with the 90 days, and then after that, if you want to keep it, you just don't do anything. If you want to cancel it, you call us, you cancel it, and then you don't get invoiced for it. But it's a pretty slick deal. So we have it in the 3 service centers. Of course, you can come and get help in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, like we talked about, but also, if you need help in your house right now, rather than waiting and scheduling for an on-site, we can do a Schrock Desk for you, usually on demand, for the same hourly rate as an in-shop repair. So even if you're not a subscriber to the Schrock Desk, the best value is being a subscriber. $30 a month and you get unlimited help. You also get half off of any repair work you want done. So if you want a half-price maintenance checkup, you don't have to wait for the sale. You get that all the time when you're a Schrock Desk subscriber. But let's say you're not a subscriber and then you have a problem. Well, it's the same rate to have us fix it over the Schrock Desk as it is to fix it in the store, except you get it fixed right away at your house without you having to leave, without us having to come out. It's by far the cheapest way to get things fixed with your computer. That as long as you have an internet connection and there's no Russians getting in the way, it's easy to get that stuff fixed. 866-496-8772 is the number to give us a call. Ask a question or make a comment. We'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. And genuinely, guys, I've got a lot to talk about today, and I could talk for the whole hour, and I will if you let me. But honestly, the callers are more interesting. So we're going to take we're going to go into the phones here, take our first caller of the show. Then we're going to come back and start talking about this bad week. Oh, man, Avast. It's bad when you're blaming Microsoft Avast. It's bad. Oh, yeah. Microsoft did something bad that our antivirus scanner said was bad, so it broke everyone's computer who's using Avast, and it's Microsoft's fault, not our fault. And even though it's our stuff that broke your computer. But it's really not our fault. Oh, boy. All right, let's jump into those phones. Ken, how can I help you today on Compute This?
Hey, I ordered that ultimate upgrade, and the gal from Pavilion Center said it would be in Thursday.
All right,
This is at least my fourth desktop. And stupid question is, where in the heck is my desktop?
Is this Kenneth Seaman?
Yes, you got it right.
Your desktop is in the Papillion Service Center right now. It's in stock. The last parts for it came in on Thursday. The build was not completed. It missed the transfer on Friday. So we're going to be making we have a lot of computers that came in Friday, Thursday and Friday. So it's built. It's in stock. It's in the transfer area and ready to go to Lincoln Service Center where it's going to be picked up.
Cool. I mean, I appreciate it, Thor. I like desktops, and my wife, like I said, it's just time. I've got the whatever prepaid for the upgrade, not the antivirus program.
Gotcha.
I told my wife to bring that in with her.
Yep.
And so have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Well, thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Yep. Let me see here. We got Tom, Mary, Ken, Larry, Sue, Becky, Loretta, Robert, and Caitlin. Their computers are sitting with yours in the transfer area, so they're all going to be keeping it company.
Should I tell you I've got 8 brothers left and 1 sister? I doubt if they're on Thor's program, but I appreciate it. I like listening to you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ken. You too. Have a great day.
Don't get sunburned.
Oh, I'll try not to. We're gonna be outside with the family later today, so I'm gonna have to put some sunscreen on for sure because I'm pretty pasty. All right, that's what you get when you work with computers. 866-496-8772. All right, so I've been mentioning that Avast had a bad week. Avast is antivirus software, and it's free. You don't pay for it. They have a pay version. It's kind of like AVG. There's a free version and there's a pay version, and 99% of the people that use it use the free version and never buy the paid version, okay? Avast has had a terrible week because Microsoft has this new update. You know, version 18.03, you might be familiar with it. It's called the Spring Creators Update, also renamed the April Update. And ironically, here we are, going into, June, and many people still have not received the April update. Why is that? Well, we'll get into that later in the show. But basically, Microsoft suspended it for all Avast users. So if you have Avast on your computer, you're not going to get the update. And here's why. People who were running Avast, who got version 18.03 that installed on their computers, the update did something that Avast's antivirus scanner thought was a virus-like activity. Therefore, it tripped the sensor, and Avast stopped the update from doing whatever it needed to do. But apparently, this thing was pretty important because if you did that and you rebooted the computer, all you get is a black screen. And there ain't no fixing it. All right, so we're going to tell you what we did for those customers, as well as new antivirus rankings came out. Where exactly did Windows Defender rank? A lot of people rely on Windows Defender. They don't want to buy any antivirus software, and they don't use Avast because obviously it's, you get your computer jacked up. So they use Windows Defender. And so where did Windows Defender rank? Microsoft's freebie antivirus software. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about Symantec Endpoint and what it does for your computer. But all that and your calls coming up right after the break, so stick with us on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website. Secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec Endpoint software. Find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh.
I just want to welcome you to the Oval Office, welcome you to the White House.
President Trump welcoming 26-year-old Joshua Holt back to the USA. He'd been a prisoner in Venezuela prison for 2 years on false weapons charges. The Utah man grateful.
I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude for you guys, for everything that you've done, for the support of my wife through those 2 years. There were very, very, very difficult 2 years.
GOP Senator Orrin Hatch worked diligently for Holt's release. Hurricane season doesn't officially begin till June, but subtropical storm Alberto is poised to strike the Gulf states and beyond. Not much wind, but a lot of wet.
We move to the north, probably move across land somewhere around the Florida Peninsula somewhere on Monday. Don't worry that much about that. It's going to be a big rain story overall and a lot of flooding for a lot of people.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reich, youth heavy rains expected in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Record heat will continue this Memorial Day weekend. Morning temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s will swiftly make their way into the upper 90s for this afternoon across the map. The Omaha Metro will top off at 98 degrees and could shatter the record high of 94. Once we get into Monday, expect highs in the mid-90s. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back in. Second half of Compute This. If you missed the first half, you can watch it. It'll be up on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Heck, you can watch it now at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Otherwise, you can always pick it up on our website, SchrockInnovations.com as well. That'll be up for you on Tuesday there, no later than Tuesday. 866-496-8772. Right now, Ken is the only caller of the show, so he's pretty much a lock for that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, but you could change that. You could take it from him if that's the kind of person you are. All right, so we're talking about antivirus software. I remember when we started doing this show years and years and years ago, we had to convince people they needed antivirus. Like, no, you really need this stuff. These viruses are real, and they're going to get into your computer. They're going to do all kinds of nastiness. You need antivirus. And people would call in, I don't have it, and then they bring in their computer infected and say, oh, I didn't know I needed it. It's such a scam. Then you have the conspiracy people who are like, yeah, man, the companies that make the antivirus software, like, they make the viruses too, and that's why they know how to fix them so good, because, like, it's a scam, man. And so you get those calls and you're just like, oh, heaven help me. Thanks for the call. Have a great day. Wow. Yeah, and those sonic booms under the earth. This is the latest conspiracy theory. You hear about all these booms happening all over the United States. There are these booms, and no one knows what they are. They're underground booms happening. The United States government is building an underground tunnel system, you see, to protect the elite when World War III breaks out. And it's like a cross-country tunnel system. They're going to be able to go anywhere in the country. The elite will be able to once World War III breaks out. Even in the mountains. So you can make the tunnels go up. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on the internets, guys, all kinds of stuff. Now, one of the other things you can find on the internets is this update to version 1803. Now, for those of you who purchased Safe Upgrade, if you have not run your Safe Upgrade software yet, you really should do that. We've talked about it a number of weeks in a row now. It's well past time. I got an email this week. I haven't heard anything yet. Should I run it? One of the things is if you have Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail, When we send out emails, my email address that we use when we send emails is tschrock@schrockinnovations.com. That way you know it's me. Add that to your address book or your safe sender list, so that way these things don't go into promotions, because otherwise you get this important message about time to run your safe upgrade, and it goes to your promotions folder and you never see it until like weeks later, and you're like, oh, I didn't know. So if you haven't run it now. Second thing is, if you have Avast software, you could probably run it now, because Avast pushed out an update. They forced an update, not just like a definition update. They forced an epic update of all of the Avast software. It was a whole version update of the core engine software to fix this problem that was happening, where people who were running Avast, when they installed version 1803, would result in a black screen when they rebooted. And if you rebooted again after that, you would get these crazy options of like booting to different operating systems and weird things that, like, I understand why the different operating system thing is happening, but it would be quite confusing for a consumer to say, like, oh, I have Windows 10. What do you mean different operating systems? Which Windows 10 do you want to boot to? We've covered that on the show before. Which version of Windows 10 do you want? So Avast users got nailed by this thing, and Kyle in the service center was just killing himself trying to find a way to fix this without doing a complete backup wipe and install, because basically it's an interrupted update of an operating system. So you don't have an installed operating system, so there's nothing there to fix. So what we have to do is we have to install the operating system, and then we can move the files over, but you can't manually move programs and registries and stuff like that over and get them activated and installing. So basically what we have is 3 hours of labor for a back up the whole hard drive, we wipe it all clean, and install. We install Windows 10, all common programs like Flash Player, things like that, Chrome, Firefox, all the browsers. Then we go through and move all of your information that we backed up back onto the computer again, so that you're good to go. That takes a lot of time. And so we had several customers in the Omaha Service Center, and it got to one point where Kyle was asking them, by any chance, did you run Avast? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, well, that's what caused this. The Avast engine interrupted the update. Avast blames Microsoft, saying your update shouldn't have done that. Nobody else's antivirus got upset about it and caused the entire computer to crash. This is simply an Avast problem. Avast had many, many days, in fact, weeks, to fix this problem before it became, widely reported. It's been brewing on Reddit for some time. If you're familiar with Reddit, you can go back and look at the dates on there. So it's not like this thing came out of nowhere. They should have been aware of it. And unfortunately, they weren't. So then finally, Microsoft said, yeah, it's Avast. And Avast was like, no, it's not. No, it's not us. Don't uninstall our software. I have to tell you, we had one of the highest conversion rates from Avast to Symantec Endpoint this week in the service center, higher than you've ever seen, because once you get hit with a $300 repair bill because you're running free antivirus software, you realize really, really quickly that running Symantec Endpoint is much more desirable because, number one, it's way better antivirus. Number two, it's got a warranty. Like, yeah, you go try to take your $300 bill to Avast and make them pay it. If something like that happens because you're running Symantec Endpoint, first of all, you probably bought Safe Upgrade too. And if your upgrade fails, guess what? Safe Upgrade has a warranty on it too. So now you don't have to worry about it, because even if you were running Avast, we've got you covered. But we do warn you, when you run that Safe Upgrade, if you're not running good antivirus, we tell you you're not. If your computer is infected, the reason for that is if your computer is infected, it can derail the entire update. But we tell you that. Never occurred to us that, if you're running, Stopzilla antivirus, it might actually, screw up the installation of the new version of Windows. Nope. All right. So basically, the other thing that we found in antivirus news this week was Windows Defender. New antivirus rankings came out. They rank them every month, and Windows Defender finished ninth best. So yeah, Symantec was up there. They got beat by McAfee. They got beat by Trend Micro. They haven't been good since the 90s. We had to convince people they needed antivirus. So yeah, it was bad. Windows Defender got absolutely demolished. Now, Windows Defender was originally created. It comes free on every Windows 10 computer. It was originally created to give you a baseline. Antivirus needs to do at least this much. More would be better, but at least this much before you can call yourself an antivirus product. So Now Windows Defender has all these beefier options, and Microsoft took them to task a little bit with the rating and said all you tested was like the default installation of Windows Defender. You didn't install this module, this optional free module, and that optional free module for network administrators, and this thing. You didn't have Smart Screen enabled. You didn't do any of this stuff. And the people that are running the software are like, well, if we did that stuff, we would have given you a better detection rating because it would have caught more stuff, but your usability rating would have gone down to 0 because no one in their dog knows how to do everything you just said to do. And you don't do it by default, because if they did turn all that stuff on by default, you guys remember when the Department of Justice sued Microsoft for monopolistic behavior? You can't take a dominant position in the operating system market and use that to run antivirus companies out of business. So you can't do that. They did it with browsers. You just can't do that. So as a result, Microsoft can't enable all this stuff by default, but they're saying you can enable all this stuff and it is pretty good until you get your next update in 6 months, and then you have to go back and do it all again. So the bottom line is Symantec Endpoint is the best option for your computer. We offer it at Schrock Innovations. The reason it's great, every other piece of antivirus software that you have is reactive. It's passive. So in other words, it waits till something attacks your computer, and then it says, okay, what do you want to do with this attack? Do you want to block it? Do you want to exclude it? Do you want to delete it? Do you want to quarantine it? Well, what happens the one time you pick the wrong thing, or the one time your grandkids or kids are in front of the computer and they click on the quarantine option? Because no one likes to be quarantined. I don't like to be sent to my room either. That's bad. Go do that bad thing to it. Well, quarantine means never detect it again. Just let it live on the computer forever. And now you're using your computer and it's full of viruses and you don't know why. You bring it into Schrock. Why am I full of viruses? And we're like, I don't know. You had this junky antivirus. That might have something to do with it. Symantec Endpoint is actively managed. And what that means is it doesn't ask you questions. It asks us questions. And we know the answers to just about every question because they're all the same. And so the software is actually pre-programmed to handle just about every situation you can throw at it. And when there's a new odd thing that comes out, for example, a dentist office has a piece of software that captures X-ray images with an X-ray pen. And the program, for whatever reason, that captures those images was getting flagged by Symantec as a virus-like behavior. Well, that's obviously not a virus. That's someone getting their teeth pictures taken. So we added that as an exclusion. So now Symantec Endpoint knows in the future when it sees that for any dentist we ever install the software on, that program is okay, because we came up against something new. So that's what actively managed means. So it's a subscription where you actually have the support of Schrock Innovations behind you, as well as great software running on your computer that scans USB drives, makes sure that your downloads are all clean, make sure that the websites you go to aren't contaminating your computer. It does all those things. So you can pick that up on our website as well, SchrockInnovations.com. It's under software. Otherwise, it's in our service center next time you come in for a checkup. If you're running Windows Defender or McAfee, or maybe you're running Avast, if you're running Avast, definitely want to make sure you do your updates before you do the version 1803, because they did push out an update that supposedly fixes this now, because it wasn't their fault, so they updated their own software. That's what I would do too if it wasn't my fault. So with all that said, guys, Symantec Endpoint is the way to go. 866-496-8772. Into the phones real quick. Aaron is the next caller on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hey, I was wondering, I built my computer myself about 3 years ago, and I need to upgrade, and I've noticed I did that due to costs. And I've noticed, though, that now the prices, it seems that I was looking at your Venture build.
Yes.
And I just noticed that, especially when it came to graphics, that it's almost cheaper to buy one without the headache of putting it together yourself, but buying it pre-built.
Right.
And I was just wondering, why is that? And is it with like what the Venture computer that you guys offer, the modular one?
Yes.
Can I upgrade it for past the specs that you show online? Do you have higher grade parts? Let's say if I wanted a super high-end GPU.
Oh, absolutely, card. Yeah. The funny thing is the Venture that you're seeing online, we're in the middle of upgrading all of our builds basically, and when we do that, we leave the old information on the website. And then we make sure because it takes 14 business days to get a computer custom built at Schrock. So there are people who ordered Ventures like 2 weeks ago that we still need to fill. And if we change the specs on the website to the new specs, people who ordered 2 weeks ago get really upset because they think, oh man, if I would have waited 2 weeks, I would have got a better computer. So what we do is we fill all the orders and then we change the specs. And so basically the computer you're seeing online, what you're going to get for the Venture is way better than what you're seeing online even. The Venture comes with a Ryzen 3 processor. It's basically a bone down build of our holiday special now. So it comes with the Ryzen 3 instead of the A10. So it can go all the way up to a Ryzen 7 if you wanted to. It comes with DDR4 memory instead of DDR3 memory. The graphics card, the GPU that comes with it is a GDDR5 graphics card now instead of the DDR3 graphics card. The solid state hard drive is a whole generation faster. It's the 3D VNAND memory in it now. Boy, I'm trying to think of all the other stuff. The power supply is the same, case is the same. New motherboard, obviously, to accommodate the new processor and RAM. Card reader's the same. Still has a DVD drive for those of you who care about that. And yeah, so basically all the way around. Now, the nice thing about it is it's modular. So the Venture is our flagship build. Of all of our computers, it has the most upgradability. So yes, you can absolutely put you can put a 1080 Ti graphics card in there if you wanted to. Now the only question is we got to get one first, and that's the challenge.
That's what I'm seeing outrageously. The pricing varies drastically.
It does.
And availability is almost not there. So I just was wondering, do you guys have a secret stash of them?
Well, we do have a few on hand, if you will. And we keep them on hand because, number one, we built computers for customers that had those cards in them. And if something would go wrong, like a warranty situation, yes, we can send the card back to the manufacturer, but it takes like 2 weeks to get it back. And our customers don't want to be down for 2 weeks. So we keep a couple around that we can swap in. So we have a flow, basically, a cycle to go through. The second thing is, while we do have the cards, we're not charging $1,500 for a 1080 Ti.
Yeah, because people are checking the price.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But they aren't going to sell for manufacturer suggested retail either. You're talking about $8,000-$9,000 somewhere in there. Because that's the cost of getting them, because we have to replenish too, and we do wait and we watch. There's a whole new series of graphics cards coming out this summer, so a lot of the demand for the graphics cards has backed off as people wait for the new cards to release. So if you were going to get like a 1080 or a 1070, something like that, I was
looking at the 1080. Yeah,
now's a great time to do it. And the hybrid cooled 1080 Ti is an amazing card. It's got a half liquid cool, half air cool.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so if I just go into a store and I say, hey, I like the Venture, I would get the newer specs, and I say, hey, can we throw a 1080 Ti and then in there? If you got one, then I could go start from there then.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, no sweat, Aaron. This is what we do.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program. Got to take our final break of the show. Jennifer, stay on the line. Your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all. So we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the show. Wow, the hour goes by so fast. Maybe we need two. Maybe you should call in and ask them to give me 2 hours. Like, they could give me 1 hour, that'd be great. 866-496-8772. On Facebook, Gloria Anderson writes, while watching your program on my new Ultimate Upgrade laptop, I wanted to go to another website while listening to the program. The computer won't pull up the website even after 3 minutes. Well, Gloria, that's because we want your undivided attention. I'm going to tell her that we want your undivided attention. There you go. Now it's officially in the answers on the questions. You can pop questions also on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations in the live program, and I answer them during the commercial breaks here. No, basically, Gloria, it's a little complex to figure that out from the description you gave. But what we could do is we can do a Schrock desk with you, and we can check that out once we open up in the service center. We're open up on Saturday from 10 to 8 and Sunday from noon to 5. But just give us a call in the service center. We can take a look and see what's going on there. The Ultimate Upgrade laptop, as I mentioned before, it does come with 4 gigabytes of memory. And it's not upgradable. After you get the 4 gig model, you cannot upgrade it beyond that. It's 4 gigs. If you upgrade it when you buy it, we actually use a different model. So it's kind of funny because it's $80 to double the memory, and you get an entirely different laptop. Like you get like a completely different body. So it looks the same, but inside it's all different, just so we can accommodate the memory increase. But so if you're going to buy one of those online and you guys are thinking about getting the 8 gigs of RAM, I would recommend you do it. It's going to make the computer more upgradable in the long run for you. All right, let's jump into those phones here. Jennifer, you're the next caller on the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, How can I help you?
Well, you were talking about the Avast and the Windows Update. Well, I have Avast.
Okay.
Are you saying now that since Avast updated that it is safe to run it and the Windows Update will work, or what should we do, those of us who use it?
Gotcha. Right now, Microsoft has suspended the update for all Avast users. So and as far as I know, that's still in effect. Avast did roll out a patch about a day and a half ago that is supposed to resolve the issue. And it's not just, it's a whole new version of Avast. It's not just a definition update. So I'm not entirely certain. You might have to open Avast and click update to force it to check for a new version of its scanning engine. And if you do that and you get all the most recent updates, I'm not sure when you'll get version 1803. Did you happen to purchase Safe Upgrade from us?
No, I didn't.
Okay. No, it's not too late to do so. So basically, you can go to SchrockInnovations.com and you can still buy a copy of Safe Upgrade and run it on your computer, because Microsoft does block version 1803 from some computers for various reasons. For example, if you have a Toshiba solid-state hard drive, they don't recommend you run it yet. If you have an Intel solid-state hard drive, they don't recommend you run it yet. So people with those 2 hard drives, they never see the update. But the problem is, once the problem gets solved, like with Avast, it's solved now. You still can't do the update. And so you're just not getting that update. Eventually they'll unlock it, but if you wanted to take care of it, you could use the Safe Upgrade program to do that. But yeah, as long as you get your Avast updates, you're never going to hear me recommend that you run Avast. And the reason for that is, and I totally get it. I understand antivirus is an expense. And especially people on fixed incomes and, retirees and things like that, you do what you can do. And Avast is better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. But I also have computers that come into my service center. I think we have a picture actually on Facebook where it said Avast. It says like, you're good to go or something like that. Everything is great. We ran a scan with Avast and it was like 2 thumbs up, clean. And then like we ran a scan with another program and we split screened the window. So it was half was the double thumbs up, you're good. And the other half of the window was the infections that we found. And it was just ironic because this computer was laden with infections and Avast said it was fine.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I recommend that you get off of Avast when you can. But in the meantime, like I said, it's better than having nothing at all.
Okay.
And better than
All right, well-
Windows Defender, who comes in 9th. I think Avast beat them. So
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Thor.
no problem. This is what we do. Have a great afternoon.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So last but not least on the show, the Russians. That's right. Yuri is in your router. He's rooting around in there right now. Basically, the Russians have been infecting several routers over a long period of time. They had a command and control website set up that would allow them to tell these routers to conduct attacks and do things. The FBI took down that website. They got it knocked out, but that doesn't mean your router is not infected anymore. So if you have a Linksys router, a TP-Link router, those are the ones we sell at Schrock. If you have a Netgear or a Belkin router, if you have, there's a couple other brands. They're all on our on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. What you need to do, you need to power cycle your router. That's fancy terms for pull the power plug out, count to 10, plug the power back in. This is the wireless router. This is the box with the antennas on it. And then once your router reboots, you need to log into the router, which if you don't know how to, it was in the instructions that came with the router. Open the box, find those instructions. Log into the router and update the firmware. Now, I could try to give you directions on how to do that, but every single brand is going to be different. So if you need help updating your router's firmware, and everybody needs to do this, everybody. I did it at my house too. If you need help doing this, you can call us on the Schrock Desk, and we can do it over the Schrock Desk for you. Standard rates apply, basically. If you're a Schrock Desk subscriber, we'll take a look for free and make sure that you're up to date. That's what the Schrock Desk is for. So with that said, yes, the Russians are in your router. Yes, you need to get that fixed, and we can help you do it if you need the help. Otherwise, take care of that stuff yourself. Need to draw a winner. $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Today's winner is Aaron. Congratulations, Aaron. You got yourself $25 over at Schrock. Christine will get a hold of you and get that to you this weekend. Stay tuned, guys, on Facebook. We're going to start a new Facebook live stream for the After Schrock, where we answer your questions that just really didn't quite fit into the show. Sometimes it's weird stuff, too. Tune in for that coming up next. We'll see you next week, guys.
From the Millard Roofing Studios, we've got you covered. This is News Radio 11.